Hi there, welcome to week 1, wrap up with Luke and Kaci. So we worked on establishing a language with them. Yes basically means I like that, same as a clicker bridge. Okay, end of activity, release word, this could be good or just kind of a done thing. Good means keep doing that, it's the start of stay. Alright, first up is Luke. Again, this is at night because of daylight savings time and a black dog, so I try to make it as visible as possible. So this is the majority of what we did last week, and especially at the resort that we went to. Basically, he doesn't have to walk on any specific side. He just needs to walk with me. Whenever the leash gets any kind of tension, he needs to relieve it. And then what I'm looking for this week is that he starts looking to me. We worked on the engagement exercises separately, either in the kitchen or in the RV. Now what we're trying to do is put things together. So there's a lot of distractions going on. I ended this with our okay. He did fairly well with that. So now what I'm doing is I'm hugging him and we're playing, and then he likes it to a certain point, and then he gets to this point where he goes, no, I'm done with you. I want to check out other stuff. So what we're working on with him is he needs to stay with us physically and mentally. So again, the engagement exercises do the mental thing, but we're trying to kind of show him slamming on the brakes and going backwards isn't what we're looking for when we do activities. There is a lot of activity going on behind me. My girls are out there doing stuff with the horses. So the loose leash walking went pretty well. So the next step is I'm going to ask him for focus. He's not giving it to me despite having a cookie, so I gave him 3 tries, and then I go back to the walking exercise. Basically, we just take one step back. I need to get him dialed in, and here I offer him a cookie while he's doing it, and he does actually take the cookie this time. And again, we're just trying to dial him in the middle of distractions. So this is the ideal exercise whenever there's something going on, whether there's another dog going on, and it's at a distance where the dog's not fully reacting, but it's just being distracted. So here's more surprise cookies showing up, just to give him the idea that if he does things with me, he is going to get more rewarded than paying attention to the distractions. So he starts actually offering some focus right here. Again, this is an activity we did inside the house. I don't do a whole lot of reps of it just because we're outside and it is distracting versus what I would do in the house. The magic number for training, in my opinion, is 3, so I try and do 3 reps of whatever I'm doing, or 3 sets. Here I kind of tease him with the cookie to get his extra interest, and again, he's focused on me more. So now that he's ready to play the game and he's willing to train, we're going to increase the focus. This exercise is called the post exercise. So he is still distracted. He's not on me as much as I would like. So I'm just standing there. All of this is nonverbal. I'm not saying anything when we're walking on the loose leash. Here, he's just getting yes. So basically his behavior dictates my behavior. We're trying to get them to kind of switch their focus from always paying attention to us. Well, actually, I back that up. We want them paying attention to us instead of us constantly telling them what to do. Look here, do this, do this. So we're going to start the engagement portion because he is on me. You cannot start the engagement until he is actually offering focus. So I tested him right there to see if he was willing to offer that behavior. I'm going to check the focus again. Again, this is the previous exercise, so before I go on, I want to make sure that the previous thing is still in place. He is distracted, but he understands that focusing on me is much more rewarding. And so now he's going, what would you like? So now that he's asking what I would like, I'm going to do the engagement portion. Luke really loves this exercise, so essentially he is chasing the cookie in my cupped hand. If you notice, I've got my hand kind of like a target. My thumb is holding the cookie down. And so here I'm showing the difference between when I want him to move and when I want him to stay put. So here is the staying put part, and I say good. And then when I want him to chase the cookie, I say yes. Here I touch him again physically, and he's a little unsure about it, but then he decides it's not so bad. And so again, we're doing lots of physical, and we're holding him. Engagement is a hard exercise because they have to go between ready to go and waiting still. And so that's where we're playing with the drives a little bit, because we want them to be able to offer that when we want to. So now he understands that we're going to work and it's fun, and so we go back to work. So here I'm going to start mashing up things, and this is kind of a beginning healing exercise. So I had him targeting on my hand, we had the loose leash walking, plus we had the focus. So my hand is presenting like we did with the yes exercise a moment ago with the engagement, but we're also combining it with the loose leash. I am keeping him on my left side, so it is more like traditional healing, and I'm just doing an about turn. The about turn gives him a chance to catch up with me because he's inevitably going to swing wide. Here I'm going to invite him into my space. Again, this is a big part of why he does slam backwards. He gets a little nervous when he's in here. So I'm treating between my legs. And here, that part where he just kind of lays back and leans back away from me, I'm trying to fix that. That is kind of an issue with recalls because they need to feel comfortable coming into your body. Just like when you're moving and stationary exercises, we want them to understand when we want them in our space and when we want them out of our space. And so the first thing with them is I'm going to work on getting in our space. So this is the end of our session. We end with a nice lengthy one-on-one play session, which we're going to do praise with them. And then we're going to go move on to Miss Kaci. So essentially we're going to do similar exercises. We're going to start out with a loose leash walking. Kaci's actually really good at this, except for when she does the little bolting exercise, which we got to try out a lot at the resort last week. So she does want to look for focus. Problem is when you return the focus, she goes, oh, that's a little too much. And so I'm just trying to build up her confidence that working with me isn't a bad thing. Basically, she doesn't seem to understand when it's okay to be crazy Labrador versus when she needs to be quiet Labrador with the people. And so what I'm trying to show her is that she can use her play drive, which is very high, in a good way with me without hurting us, basically, either bolting away from us or in just a minute I'm about to trip and almost die because she goes backwards. Actually, I think it's on the next part. But now I've got cookies. I didn't have cookies. As it says, I'm not asking for anything specific. I'm just looking for her focused. She is a little bit worried about the sustained focus on both of us, so I am loading the word yes with the cookies. So she does like the movement. It makes her feel better. Here, me touching her makes her a little uneasy. So again, we're going to just keep touching her. The post-exercise she likes. She is distracted by my girls with the horses, but not nearly as badly as Luke. And she does offer some focus, but it's not sustained. And so here I do the chase the cookie. Again, this is a lot of pressure for her because she's not really sure what to do when the two of us are playing.
New text message from Patty Pierce.
She wants to be very, very playful, but she's really worried about kind of getting in trouble for being too playful. And she just doesn't know. It's basically all playful or not playful. And so here she's offing focus because it looks more like obedience work. And I pet her, and now she's a little bit better. She's not backing away from me or anything like that. Here, though, she realizes cookies by her crazy cookie eyes. And this is the part where we almost die, because she goes backwards. So I just tell her everything's okay, and we go right back to work like no big deal. A lot of this I'm trying to line up just to make sure that I'm still inside the camera, so that's why I keep looking up. Here I've got her back to working. She's happy because it does look more like healing, so I'm just doing that. Again, my hand is in that targeting type position, and so I just go ahead and kind of help her with the positioning there. And then now we go back to the chasing the cookie, and here is where she goes, oh no, I'm not really sure about that. That's really hard for me to do. And she would really, really like to go back to the walking and targeting on the hand versus her having to chase it. So we do a little bit of a middle ground there, and I give her the cookie, and she's happy about that. We end up with the praising. This time I'm expecting her to back up, and she backs up, and so I do it as if I meant to do it. But I'm not going to reward her until we're going forward and she's actually in front of me, because I want to make sure we don't have any death by Labrador type incidents. So now we're going to do the chase the cookie exercise again, and now she starts thinking this could be fun, but maybe not. Okay, maybe it is fun. And then I pat her to reassure, and then this is the part where she starts realizing she can play with me while doing the training, and there's some kind of middle ground. So this is a really nice little breakthrough with her. I'm really happy with that. We do a couple more reps of it, and she does really well. She's pushing into my hand, she's happy, and she's still offering focus and everything. So this is really mentally exhausting for them, just because they're trying to combine so many pieces. So we do a couple more reps, and she's pretty happy with that, and therefore I'm happy with that. Here she's a little stimulated from the chase and the cookie, so I want to go back to the focus exercise, which was the exercise before this. It does take a little bit longer because, again, she's trying to figure out where to be, so I remind her of the focus, but then I turn it into the chasing exercise instead. Basically, these are two really, really awesome dogs. Mostly what I'm trying to do is stitch together all the training that you guys have already put into them, which is quite considerable, and I'm trying to sort it into piles, develop kind of a common language between all of it, and then make it in a way that the dogs understand what's going on, and that these certain commands aren't specific to a certain sport, whether it's barn hunt or agility or going to the park or whatever, but that everything is very consistent between them. They know when to offer behaviors, they know when to be playful, they know when to interact, to default on when to focus on us. If there's a distraction or something that doesn't mean anything, they need to be paying attention to us, and they need to offer the behaviors. So again, the main thing that we're trying to do with the engagement is we're trying to increase their focus and their motivation to do things for us and want to do things with us. I'm also trying to work a lot with the physical praise. I'm trying to raise that up. They're very, very good about the wanting the cookies part, but when it comes to the physical praise, they're a little standoffish about that and not really sure how to handle that. They think of it as more of kind of a negative restraint, like they're caught and the game is ended, or they're gonna, be restrained for something veterinarian related or something like that, which is a really common issue. We have it with the horses as well. We just basically are trying to teach the animals when we want them to go, when we want them to stop, and to just always be on the ready that we may ask for something to happen. Moving forward, we're going to keep developing this language, and we're going to just keep using the same words while we introduce other objects. We're going to reward for them choosing to engage us and the objects. That way it builds the confidence and it makes them really want to start interacting more, so they know where to get the rewards and they understand the system and how they can go about getting rewards that they would like. So, okay, that's it for now, and we'll get another video out soon. Thank you.